Woke versus awake. Let's go. So what are the differences between the woke movement and the awake movement? Let's look at that. The woke movement looks at things as, I'm right, you're wrong. It is a fixed mindset. It's not a growth mindset. It looks at, I have the freedom to express myself as I so wish. And you just have to adhere to that. You can't. The awake mindset is a growth mindset. It knows that it doesn't know all the answers, but it's on a journey of discovering them. And it knows that everyone does have the freedom to self-expression. Everyone has the freedom to self-expression. And I am allowed to express myself as I wish. But if I dictate to somebody else that they have to acknowledge me as I am, then I'm taking away their freedom to self-expression. And it has to work both ways. So you cannot, if you're going to have freedom of self-expression for yourself, to express yourself in which way you desire, then it works both ways. You must allow for everyone else to express themselves as they so wish, even if it conflicts with your theories. The woke philosophy believes, I'm right and you're wrong. And deep down, they fundamentally believe that they are right, because this seems to be a good cause. It seems to be a truth. It's just not as a deeper truth as it could be. The awake philosophy then says, is there a deeper truth to this? And the awake philosophy isn't now, we're right, you're wrong. Is there a deeper truth? Can I be more right? What lies beyond? And lying beyond means that, hang on, let's transcend the whole I'm right and wrong and the whole judgment thing, and let's actually get beyond. Let's get to a transcendent state where we're not looking at conditional conditions. The awake mindset realizes that there are two sides to everything. That there's a bit of bad in the good, and there's a bit of good in every bad. And it even goes so far as to say that when it comes to labeling, naming can be shaming, but it also can be taming. And the two need to be brought into balance. That awareness needs to be looked at. We need to recognize the good and the bad and the bad and the good, and the good and the bad and the bad and the good and the bad and the good and the good and the bad. And realize the bigger, broader perspective that brings it all together. The awake philosophy realized that ultimately we're all connected, we're all unified, we are all one, and it actually embraces that fact that there won't be any division in any way, shape, or form. Whereas the woke philosophy is us and them. So what we've got to realize is, as we're going through our life, is now, from what perspectives are we viewing things? Are we looking at division? Are we looking at judgments? Or are we looking at this collectiveness? Are we looking at owning the fact that we are sum of all the parts, and that when we are judging anything else, we're suppressing something within ourselves? Can we see ourselves as a absolute collective entity? Or are we looking at the holographic representation, the finite representation, or are we looking at the more infinite? Are we viewing this from a limited capacity or from an unlimited capacity? Are we viewing this from our physical, mental perspective, or are we viewing the things from a more open soul perspective? Unfortunately, the woke philosophy sees things that it needs to resist and raise awareness against, have a war against, and to try and stamp out. Whereas the awake philosophy realizes that whatever you give attention to, you're giving energy to. Energy flows where attention goes. So if you're going to fight fire with fire, you're going to create a bigger fire. And then it realizes that that's not the way to go. That actually the way to transcend something is to give it, to surrender and to accept and to seek deeper truths, work through and beyond and transcend to gain a higher awareness and a bigger perspective without using any oppression, suppression, repression in any way, shape, or form. The awake philosophy realizes that change can only come from one place and one place only, and that is within. The proof of change is, have I changed? Irrespective of the conditions around me. Even if the conditions around me have all gone to hell and I'm surrounded by absolute chaos, mayhem, war, oppression, misinformation, disinformation, and all of that. Am I able to, irrespective of all that, hold my unconditional emotional state? Can I prove to the conditions that I have changed? Because then once I have changed, then the fundamental change has occurred. And that's how the universe works. From inside out, not outside in. Whereas so many others of us are governed by outside in. All a very conditional perspective. So that pretty much sums up the differences between the woke and awake. And if you'd like to see more deeper truths on ultimate reality and how it can assist us all to live a more aligned life with more freedom, fulfillment, and prosperity, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a follow. I'll see you in the next clip. Peace out, much love.
The Big Cigar.